And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, welcome to a Sunday afternoon of world-class thoroughbred action live here in South Florida at Gulfstream Park. And welcome to Gulfstream Today. Track announcer Pete Aiello, joined by ace handicapper extraordinaire and the winner of the early pick 5 yesterday, Ron Nicoletti.
Yeah, I got lucky, paid $407 for a $40 ticket, but want to remind everybody today, Pete, a little rain again last night. We got a muddy main track and a good turf course to start the day.
Yeah, big thunderstorms west of here, and I guess it carried over east after that because it was raining pretty hard last night as well.
Yeah, so we'll see how that plays out, but the sun should be out this afternoon and dry it out as we move along throughout the day.
Yeah, speaking of moving along, you have a variety of wagering options as we move along throughout the afternoon, including a sizable high five carryover in race number 1 today of more than $12,000, $12,156 the carryover. We also have the early pick 5. Ronnie, going for 2 days in a row.
I'm going to try and do 2 days in a row and that going back to that super high five. Boy, when there's that over $10,000, $12,000, boy, they really send it in, and you'll see that with the 7 races. Then I'm going to show you my early pick 5 ticket, and then the day Pete progresses to the Rainbow Six.
Yeah, Rainbow Six lived to fight another day yesterday, so the carryover figure now stands at $30,728. With today's 11-race format, it begins in race number 6.
And we close the day with our final pick 5 of the afternoon. So that is the wagering menu we're offering this afternoon, and it should be a lot of fun. And got to deal with that track conditions early on. Good always to watch the buyer, see what happens.
Yeah, for me, anytime it rains in South Florida, the turf course is always favors the horses coming from off the speed. So we'll see if that holds true. It usually does, so we'll see if it does. And we'll see if it does with race number 1, which is just 59 minutes away, as we're on the turf for the first of the day at 7.5 furlongs. A field of 7 to kick off proceedings. Metaphorically, awfully good last time. Can he repeat?
Well, he's one of the horses I do have on my early pick 5 ticket, and we'll show you 2 deep, 3, 2, and 3. Spread it out this afternoon. No single like I did yesterday, so $36. Very affordable ticket. Metaphorically, you're absolutely right, Pete. Going to face these 12-5 state-bred competition. Responded last time to that drop in competition with a solid score against 16 optional claimers going a mile. If you read the conditions, this horse fits the conditions perfectly in the opener. And I've been chasing this horse since it ran at Gulfstream Park West. It seems like one of those I do when I do it and don't when I don't. I put this one second last time. He was the logical choice. I tried to get cute. So this time I put him on top metaphorically. We'll see what happens.
And you put number 1, Starship Zorro, in second. So if you're keeping score at home, he probably wins this.
Yeah. He goes from the rail after sitting way off he was way off the pace last time out. He was about 15 lengths back before he rallied to finish 4th behind Metaphorically. I think he finds a nice spot in the open. He comes out of that same race. And if you look at his past performances, most of them, he's not that far back, Pete.
Yeah, no, he's not, but he'll at least be able to sit behind Metaphorically, who does have some tactical speed. There was a breakaway leader in that last race, so that's why the margins of 10 lengths behind and 15 lengths behind for both of those horses wasn't really that much. The horse was off by 7 or 8. And then everyone just kind of sat behind him.
Well, we were talking before we went on the air about the number 6 Valid Concept is making its long-awaited return to the turf. After that really solid campaign on the main track in the last 7 races, he's got 2 wins, 2 seconds in the 3rd, against similar competition, but on the main track.
Yeah, ran against High Riverside, ran second to High Riverside last time out. High Riverside would be a bear if this race were run on the main track, but we're not. We're on the turf, trying to fix it when it's not broken. You know, I'm never a fan of that.
Yeah, and the turf course, as we mentioned, listed is good, and Pete gave you some homework to do. Watch the biases on the turf and on the main track today.
Well, let's look at the second race. This will be the first opportunity to watch a main track race, a first finish line race. Race number 2 at a mile and a 16th. Claimers in for a $6,250 price tag. A field of 7 set to go postward in here. A lot of these horses coming out of 1-turn miles, now going the 2-turn trip.
Yeah, I went with the 3-piece Militant, who's dropping to this level today and stretching out, as you mentioned, to a mile and a 16th. Now, he's had 3 races at this distance, no win, but a second and 2/3, so he's 3 for 3 in the money. He rallied 3 wide. He finished second against 12-5, 2 lifetime claimers. As you mentioned, that was going a 1-turn mile. Sort of a lateral move as far as the class goes, but I just thought this horse looked like the logical one. I like the 3 for 3 in the money record at the distance, albeit without that win.
Well, if you take the pen and draw it through a line through his race in May when he was on the turf, he's run excellent in his last 4 races on dirt.
Yeah, and he's the morning line favorite, and rightly so. I went to the inside with my second pick, True Diplomacy. He's going to go from that rail. He's going to race without the blinkers today. He dueled for the lead. He lacked room on the turn. He was beaten 2 lengths by Similar. He's looking like the controlling speed maybe from the rail. Do you think, Pete?
I do, but he's a turf horse that's only been proven on turf. I'll take a pass here today.
And I closed it out with the 4 Lucky Warrior, stretching out to this mile and the 16th we've been talking about after rallying to finish third, beating 3/4, going a mile here, 1 turn. Mile and the 16th, 2 turns, first finish line, a whole different ball game.
Especially with the main track has moisture in it, it should carry the speed along even better. If you're not 2 or 3 lengths off the lead as they hit the half-mile mark, you're going to be in a lot of trouble, I think. We'll turn now to the 3rd race. It's on turf at 5 furlongs. We have a field of 7 signed on in here. This is a pretty good betting race, I thought. 7 horses in here, but about 5 of them have a legitimate chance to win, including your top play, number 4, Guai Kanagari.
Guai Kanagari, the number 4. I always have trouble with the name, but I have trouble with most names here, as you know. This one now listed as a gelding. He's the son of Harlan's Holiday, making the 3rd start of his current form cycle. He stalked the pace. He finished 2nd and 3rd, respectively, at this level and distance. Leo Gabriel Jr. just doing an excellent job, and Luca Panici in the saddle. Lots to like about this horse. I believe he's 2nd or 3rd choice on the morning line. So number 4 on top of my ticket.
Well, who makes the lead in here? Is Guai Kanagari fast enough to make the lead, or does the lead get in the possession of number 3, No Hit, No Run? If the 3 makes the lead, he probably wins. I don't think the 4 has to have the lead, but if they'll let him have it, I'm sure he'll appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, the guy put the 3 No Hit, No Run on the ticket. He was sent off as the favorite in 2 of his last 3 recent sprints at this level. He's hoping to make amends. He broke slowly, so he gave it up last time out by breaking slowly and finishing 5th. But I also used the 1 Daddy Duke, cutting back to 5/8 on the turf. Inconsistent pair against similar quality on the main track. Steve Glaceris, Cornelio Velasquez handling the surface switch this afternoon. A bit of a guess on my part with that horse.
Well, he's run terrible his last 2 races, even his race 2 back. Equilibrium did come back to win yesterday, though.
Exactly. We weren't a fan of Equilibrium, to say the least, and proved us both wrong in that race.
Number 7, Vineyard Storm, 9-2 on the morning line, making his first start as a 3-year-old for trainer Kathleen O'Connell. Lane Luzzy has the call here, draws an outside gate, and has been working well for the return try. Wouldn't be surprised to see this horse run a lot better than he did in his debut.
Yeah, and Kathleen O'Connell does great work with just those type of horses, so a good pick on your part, Pete, even though you're not allowed to pick. Thanks for telling us the story.
We'll turn now to the 4th race. Claimers of the $30,000 variety, racing 6 furlongs. We have a field of 6 signed on in here. Tough race, first distinction, coming off the turf and cutting back in distance. Still might be fast enough to make the lead, but you went a different direction. You went with number 6, Heartbreaker Girl.
Yeah, this one moved to the Steve Glaceris Bonvita claim, turns back to 3/4 of a mile, followed that $30,000 condition claiming score going 6.5, 2nd place going 7. Going to try 6 this afternoon. One of the logical choices in here, a horse that I'm not jumping, I don't know if he's the morning line favorite, but I just think he's got a shot at bed. Talking about a barn that's been doing good, the Glaceris connections have been doing very well at the meeting.
Yeah, they sure have, and they've been claiming horses exactly like this and moving them way up. She should get a good setup from a little bit off the speed, as I think the 1, 2, and 3 have a crash course with disaster. I just flat out don't think the 4 is good enough. That leaves the outside pair.
Well, number 1, Colonel Nina, is going back to the main track after stepping up to the $25,000 optional claiming level on the turf, dueling for the lead, flattening out to finish 7th at 5/8. I want to show you a stat bud on trainer Ralph Nix over the last 5 years with turf to dirt mid-level claimers. Really good, 4 for 14, 29%, 50% in the money, and he's got a positive ROI. So a good angle here on the number 1, Colonel Nina, even though Pete says on number 1. And let's talk about the other horse you threw out, and that's Scandals Keep Coming. Stepping up to face winners, responded to the switch from turf to dirt, defeated 35,000 maidens at the distance. One that raced by, what, a mile? It was actually 11 lengths, and it was actually a dead heat for the win.
Well, yeah, that just means the top 2 horses were 11 lengths clear of the 3rd horse is all that
But,
means.
very rare do you see a horse dead heat for the win, 11 lengths in front. It just seemed funny to me. Dave Brady, Prentice Lane Luzzy, top. I find this one interesting. I think it's a big price on the board, if I remember correctly, 15 to 1 or something.
Now,
like
I need to go on record here. I didn't say anything about to Colonel Nina. I just think Colonel Nina, my wish list, and First Distinction will all be setting a pretty brisk early pace.
Oh.
Now, if you want an I'll give you one for number 4. Scandals keep coming. No,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, so we got one I'm sorry, take the other back.
We'll turn now to the 5th race on turf at a mile and a 16th, $10,000 claimers set to go postward. And here, a horse that I think will love this course is a horse that just won last time out. Second start since coming in from Pimlico. Number 4, Dreams Cut Short. No Dreams Cut Short for you.
No Dreams Cut Short for me. I went with the key. You mentioned the conditions of this race. A mile and a 16th. There's only one horse in here who's a multiple winner at that distance, and that's Muser, the number 6. This one is stretching out to this distance. I'm talking about mile and the 16th. Rally late to finish second, beaten a half length against 12-5 claimers going a mile. So my angle is that this horse is a proven commodity at the distance, done something no one else in the race has done twice, and that's win at this distance.
And he also beat Dreams Cut Short last time out, so I cannot and will not argue.
And the number 3, Stroll for Stroll, is 4 for 4 in the money at the distance, albeit without that victory. 4 starts, 2 seconds, 2 thirds, stretching out, came within 2 lengths as the favorite of defeating 10 claimers, going 7.5. I think he's going to run well in there.
Well, it's the 5th race. It's right before the Rainbow Six. It's the perfect time to catch everybody up on what has been riveting television, which is you against me for breakfast in the morning. And I think this is a perfect race for it. I like Dreams Cut Short. I don't want to take Muser, but I'll take Southern Stroll against Dreams Cut Short.
Well, you know, I am leading the contest right now for the pancake breakfast. If you're not aware, it's a pancake breakfast. And there you see the wager up there. 0 for Pete, 1 for me, Ron. So we'll see how that goes. And what we're going to do at the end of the meet is buy pancakes for the, who's ever ahead's going to have to buy pancakes for the crew, not just for each other.
Oh, wow. I hope they're good pancakes then.
No, the ones at McDonald's we're going to get.
Well, that's a look at race number 5. You just have a different opinion in that race,
Yeah.
and that's quite all right with me. And number 8, Heart Doctor, we didn't talk about, makes a barn switch. Should run better second start off the layoff. More on the racing action momentarily. Right now, we'll take a brief time out. We'll come back with more from Gulfstream Park, including the Rainbow Six, right after this.
Hey everyone, I'm Acacia Courtney, and I want to tell you about a fun contest that we have going on. It's called Beat the Expert. Every Friday, if you're able to pick more winners than me or my co-host Ron Nicoletti, then you will have the chance to win a free polo shirt that says that you beat the expert. Go to facebook.com/GulfstreamPark to enter and use hashtag #BeatTheExpert to let us know that you're playing. Bring it on.
Back now with a preview of race number 6 on the program. Once again, welcome to Gulfstream today. Track announcer Pete Aiello with Ron Nicoletti taking you through the Sunday card of racing action. We're at the midway point on the card now, and it's time for the Rainbow Six and race number 6 on the main track.
Well, let's show you my ticket here, and you will see as it goes down. Race number 10, I got the 2 horse, and that is Sweetwater is my single this afternoon. I'll tell you why when we go back. Wearing blinkers today, $48.60. 3 horses and all the other legs of the Rainbow Six, because I think it's a wide open affair. Even though here in race number 6, the 8 horse, Jaden's Best, is the heavy favorite here on the morning line. Dropping to this level, first start since he dueled for the lead, weekend late to finish 3rd against 10,000 starter allowance competition, going a mile on June 16th. Going to show you a stat on trainer Maciel Navarro over the last 5 years. Layoff, 31 to 60 days with claimers on the dirt. Pretty good stats here. 8 for 34, 24%. 53% in the money, and once again a positive ROI, which means return of investment. 8 to 5 on the morning line. I think he can be beat.
I don't.
You don't?
No, not really. The last time he ran for this barn on a racetrack with moisture in it, he jogged The last time out, he ran against Johnny Handsome, who stakes tested, and you would say, well, why are they dropping him back in class? And my argument to that is they only took him for 62.5. This isn't like they're dropping him below the purchase price.
Yeah, I mean, I just went another couple of ways. I thought that maybe Smoking the Field is a late running type who rallied to finish second or third in 4 consecutive races against this level of competition. Certainly belongs on the ticket, Pete, but I don't know about the top spot. But I'm thinking maybe if someone goes up and, softens up the speed in here, might set up for a horse like Smoking the Field.
Well, Double Judge is the key to this race, and then Eddie Castro's going to have a decision to make because Gary Bain will be sending Double Judge. There's no doubt about that. Double Judge will be your early leader. If Jaden's Best decides to flank him from the outside, which, by the way, would be my move,
right.
Then I think Jaden's Best wins anyway. It's immaterial. Right. However, if Jaden's Best wants to engage Double Judge, then Smoking the Field becomes a huge contender.
And the other horse I used on that ticket, as you saw, is All the Seas. Venezuelan bred is stretching out to a mile after returning from the latest layoff. He finished in an okay fourth against similar going 3/4 of a mile. I respect the connections of trainer Gustavo Delgado, so we'll see how this one runs. And Sammy Camacho will be in the saddle today.
He's actually grade 1 placed in his native country.
Right.
He was third in Venezuela. That was back in 2014, looking for his first victory since May of last year.
Well, the horse that, you got to put on the ticket there, and if it jumps up and beats me, I'll get a good price in the Rainbow Six.
Here's a race I can't wait to hear the Nicoletti analysis on. It's race number 7 on the program, the start of the 50-cent late pick 5. Maidens on the bottom, in for a $12,500 price tag. Distance here is 1 1/16 on the turf. I'm all ears. Fire away.
The one. Bookkeeper Marie is dropping to this level and breaking from the rail after stalking the pace, fading late when facing $16,000 maidens going 7.5 last time out. I think she can turn out to be the controlling speed in a race devoid of any speed in here. I mean, I'm guessing with her with the speed.
I like it.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness, I'm shocked. You can almost knock me over with a, what do they call it? A feather, a hammer, feather, whatever. The number 3, Bourbon Trace, is stretching out to 1 1/16 after rallying to finish second against this level of competition. I have an obvious concern in here. 0 for 4 at the distance makes me like Bookkeeper Marie just a little more.
That's your obvious concern? How about 0 for 24 lifetime? I think that would be the more prevalent concern.
I'm trying to make it sound better than it is, Pete. Number 4, It's All You. This one should be ready to offer more if returning from a couple-of-month layoff to finish a 5-wide third at this level and distance. And this one maybe can reap the spoils if Bookkeeper Marie fails to figure out the distance.
Yeah, I mean, It's All You ran well for his first third off the layoff. This is a tough race. I mean, I think you're right. Bookkeeper Marie might have to go from the rail, and if she does, she could be tough. Spelling Bee Queen is a lightly raced horse on the outside. She showed some speed in her debut run last time out. She faced significantly tougher than this and didn't run very well. Maybe the wake-up call is the drop back to class.
And, the statement you made a little earlier on, by this time, you got to see how the turf course is playing. We're saying go in the lead and never look back, but it might be a day that's favoring horses that like It's All You. It's going to come from off the pace today. So by then you'll know it. By the first couple of races, you sort of get an idea. It's never a true science, that's for sure.
Well, number 5, Crushing Victory, should be mentioned. She's 9-2 on the morning line and pegged as a contender in this race. Makes a rider switch from Manny Aguilar to Leonel Reyes. She only has 3 races. They're not exactly exhilarating races, but they are good enough to be a contender here.
Yeah, and like I say, it's a wide open affair. I went with the obvious horse I thought would be on the lead and not be challenged, but lots of ways to go. And as we mention all the time, if you want to go deeper on your late pick 5 or your Rainbow Six ticket, one of the spots you're certainly going to do it.
Well, let's turn now to the 8th race. It starts the late pick 4. Nice field here. 2-year-old fillies of the maiden special weight variety racing for a $55,000 purse at 5.5 furlongs. Number 4, Celtic Moonlight, ran super in the debut, and she did it for a barn who doesn't win first time out. Now she should be primed and ready to go, don't you think?
She's wheeling back at the same level in distance after disputing the early pace and finishing a distant second behind the best winner that day called Cali, California. And you're right about Michelle Nier. She's, just a small stat here, but a very good one. She's 4 for 10, 40% with maidens making their second start. So I think that's telltale there. Luca Panici in the saddle again. But I wanted to go back and show you the performance last time out. Poopsie Doopsie, half-sister to local state runner Little Meatball, stretching out the 5 furlongs. Got carried wide on the turn here. But what I wanted to show you, gets carried wide out on the turn, or turns for home. Pete, in this race, there's so many antics going on in front of her as they come from home. You'll see her now. She gets pushed out wide. She continues to get pushed out wide. She's the number 11, I think. She broke from the outside. There she's getting pushed out wide. Now,
I remember this race. Fallen Leaf is all over the racetrack.
So that's why I wanted to ask you about it. I mean, she was moving okay here. I don't know if this horse caused a problem for her. You'll see this horse drifting right out now. Sort of everybody had to sort of put the brakes on slowly. So I just thought Poopsie Doopsie, deserves a second look. Got carried wide on that turn. Broke from the outside there, so had to run farther than everybody. And then it was added a couple of lengths, and then had all that crazy stuff in front.
Well, if the top play Celtic Moonlight doesn't step forward based on that replay, and based on the fact that we showed the replay, we've been off the charts and successful, either with good or bad replays. If we show a replay, you want to pay attention. We're batting about 80%.
Yeah, they've been doing very well. And you mentioned each day, we're not trying to point out horses that might have won that race. We're pointing out the trouble that they had, and they could have finished better than they did in that previous race. The other one I used was Little Shade, who I think is obvious, eligible to show more after responding last time, got the blinkers, and Lasix too, and improved and finished third behind Celtic Moonlight.
Yeah, not much between them either, just a neck between Little Shade and Celtic Moonlight. The logic here is that Michelle Nihe, trainer of Celtic Moonlight, will have this horse significantly better today than in the debut run. That's the key to race number 8.
Yeah, and her horses always look fantastic out here in the walking ring.
Well, let's turn now to the 9th race. It's on turf at 5 furlongs, $10,000 claimers in here. A field reduced by 1, scratch number 6, Pink a Lily. A field of 7. We'll show you a replay in just a moment. The big favorite in here is a horse that I always pick against, and you always pick. Today, no different, Pink Mama.
There's something about the name Pink that I seem to be enamored with when horses run. So Pink Mama is hoping to save something more for the stretch run, set the pace, failed to hold off Love Flute when settling for second as the favorite at this level and distance. Pete, there's no mystery here. She's going to be playing Catch Me If You Can.
Speed is the weapon of choice. The moisture in the turf course will not help her chances in that regard. And let's show a horse that maybe had an alibi from her last race, the number 8, Red Aguia. A lot of horses are coming out of this same race, including a couple of horses down toward the inside and Blazing Diamond. There's Red Aguia. Pink Mama's in here, Ronnie. That's her on the engine. Pink Mama's in front. Blazing
Exactly.
Diamond is second. Red Aguia is tapping on the brakes. Not as bad as Love Flute, the eventual winner. Red Aguia had to take up. Now there's Red Aguia wide on the course. Pink Mama's in front, but I want you to see this. She's in front, and Love Flute's going to run her down. Blazing Diamond actually surprised me because she couldn't make any ground on Pink Mama, but you can see 3 contenders there. The second horse, Pink Mama, is going to take all the money. There's only about 1.25 lengths separating that horse from my number 8 horse, Red Aguia. Price will be significantly better. Vulnerable favorite, Pink Mama. I say it every time. Hope I'm right.
You want a long shot?
Sure.
Number 2, Drama Princess, is dropping to this $10,000 level after returning from about a 2-month layoff, shipping in from Tampa. Went up, set the early pace in that race. It was 85-1 that day against 16,000 condition claimers. A race run by the red-hot repeat winner, Defying Gravity, going a mile. Both lifetime victories have come sprinting, albeit on the dirt. And this one might be worth a flyer at a little bit of a price, 20-1 on the morning line.
A lot of people who regularly watch this show tell me to ease up, that I'm too hard on him, and I tell them they're not true. I agree with Ronnie a lot. I agree with you. This is a great long shot pick. Drama Princess will be a huge number if the race falls apart, which it very well could. Source could be charging hard at a big number.
Yeah, no, that's the way I saw it in there. And then 20-1 on the morning line. So a horse, you don't want to get knocked out of something. You might throw it on, bet a couple of bucks on it. And that's just the way I saw it shaping up in there. Not as bad as last race that it should be 85-1. So, and turn it back to 5-8. So a couple of
Second start off the freshening, second start for the barn. There are some things to like.
Yeah.
Let's turn to the 10th race. It's on the main track at 6 furlongs. First half of the late daily double. This is the Sunday feature race. Ronnie, as I just got ready telling you how I support you all the time,
Right.
It's not that I don't support you. I think you're awfully gutsy to single in this race with Sweetwater.
Well, let me tell you the reason why. Turning back to 3/4 of a mile in the first starts and setting the pace at 6.5 furlongs and weakening in the stretch to finish 4th behind a classy horse called Sweet Khaleesi, who went after that race, finished second in the $150,000 3-ring stakes. I'm going to go back and show you this performance. Not only just the stretch run of a Sweetwater, and you're going to see Sweetwater here is the number 4 horse that day and has the lead here. Now, okay, you're going to see this horse come up. Going to start the weekend, as I mentioned. Sweet Khaleesi wins that race, goes back and runs second in the 3 rings. But Blame Dixie in there comes back and wins its next start. The horse that's in front of her, Metamu, comes back and wins its next start. Then Sent to Delmar finishes 3rd. Blinkers on this afternoon. Not the same level of competition. Turning back that half furlong. What are you going to get hit in the head with a rock?
I was waiting for that. I wish we could have gambled on what was coming. I would have hit that race anyway. You're the sucker for the key race angle. I'm sure your middle name is Italics.
Yeah, Italics. But I thought I explained myself very well.
You did.
Yeah,
I'm not going to tell you. This is a tough race.
Now, we gave him a quandary.
What's that?
We gave him 2 videos in here. I know you want to show a video in here, too. So now which one is the right video? We'll see.
Well, I guess you have to use all of them. You have to go 3 deep in this race, which is exactly my point, by the way. Let's take a look at number 4, Black Air, on the outside horses, F7, Jamie's Dancer. The reason why I wanted to show you this is, don't play it yet, guys. 23-1 for the opening quarter. By the way, the horse who wins the race is Colt Classic, who was 3-5, probably should have been about 1-5, and got 23-1 to the quarter. Black Air and Jamie's Dancer aren't going to make ground against a horse like that. Now we can cue it up and watch. They chase in vain as Colt Classic just pulls away. Jamie's Dancer had to cover ground 4 wide, and Black Air was on the chase the entire journey. Colt Classic, just a very, very good racehorse. I think we have similar logic as the way we approach this race, Ronnie. Just a different opinion as to who the right horses are.
Right.
But Colt Classic was expected to win, geared down in the late stages. I thought Black Air and Jamie's Dancer ran better than it looks on paper.
Well, I used Black Air on my ticket. You mentioned a single in that race, and I'd like to try and find a single to make my ticket affordable. Black Air should have those proverbial screws tightened in returning from that layoff, and you saw what it did. Finished a good second that day.
Yeah, have you ever used proverbial screws? They're pretty good.
They're pretty good. I buy them at the Ace.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's turn now to the 11th race on the turf at 5 furlongs, maidens of the 35,000.
I remember where you would buy screws there for a minute.
Listen, I'm already on the 11th race. Don't ruin the momentum here. We got away from that. I saved you.
All right.
11th race, maidens on turf at 5 furlongs, $35,000 the level. We closed the show with a tough race. What else is new as far as that goes? First-time starters galore. Did you go with the first-time starter? I'd have to imagine you did.
Yeah, number 2, Cowboy Chrome, and I'll tell you why. It's a half-brother to local turf stakes winner, Rizwan. One of our favorite horses making his career debut for trainer Stevie DeMauro. Series of solid half-mile workouts over the track, including that recent Bullet, 47-4. That's a little bit of a play, just a breeding play there with the number 2 Cowboy Chrome, Fox Mill in second, making its career debut for Wesley Ward. You know all those angles. He's really stellar, 40% with debut maiden claimers. Gets Lasix, leading jock Tyler Gaffleone. I think you got to use both of those.
Yeah, I like that angle. I don't think Rizwan won his debut. I think he won in his second start, but he ran okay.
Yeah.
So there's certainly some precocity on the pedigree there. Use the outside horse, number 8, Papacho. He's one of the horses that's raced. He's had actually 4 races, speed and fade in all 4.
Yeah, I mean, that's the angle there to put him on the ticket. He's the most seasoned runner in the field. He's going to try the turf, hit the board in 2 of 4 on the main track. The concern, Pete, is the so-so turf breeding.
A lot of fascinating things going on in here. Monarch Stable is represented on the rail, but the trainer line doesn't read Larry Pilati. That's fascinating. Ronnie Spatz trains number 1, who's a first-time starter by Utopia. Then you have the resident Antonio Sano resident from post number 5, first-time starter with Lionel Reyes riding. His horses are not routinely cranked up. That was evident yesterday with a horse that ran just terrible in the debut that I thought would run well, and a horse who from a barn who always has him cranked up, Mike Yates, very much overlooked with number 7, exclusively ours. Don't worry about the work tab. This horse will come ready.
So we gave him everybody in the race just about that.
Well, that's the way the last race has been going. We got to make sure we cover all our bases here.
Okay.
We're going to buy some proverbial screws now. We have a few minutes to do that. We're 32 minutes from post time.
Proverbial screws missing in your noggin now. Let's get those. It's the end of the week.
Well, why don't you close the show then?
Goodbye. We're going to be back. Pete will be back in just a moment or two to update you on all the scratches, all the things you need to have a fun, winning day at Gulfstream Park. And I'll be back the rest of the afternoon if they don't throw me off the stage for goofing around too much today.